Welcome to the Outdoor Biz Podcast, where each Tuesday, your host, Rick Sayes, gathers around the mic with outdoor industry entrepreneurs, brand leaders, founders, and enthusiasts to share stories from the backcountry, the startup files, and the retail aisles. Rick's guests offer actionable advice to land your ideal industry gig, grow your outdoor career, or plan your next big adventure. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss a single episode. And now, here's Rick.
Welcome to episode 360 of the Outdoor Biz Podcast. Tonight I'm speaking with Peter Driver from Piscari Fly, located on the River Nore in Ireland. Peter and Mark Driver have a vast amount of experience and knowledge and are highly experienced anglers in all types of fly fishing, be it on rivers, lakes, or fishing saltwaters around Ireland. If you want to fish in Ireland, Peter is the man to know. Welcome to the show, Peter. Hey, Peter, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, looking forward to chatting with you, learning more about fishing in Ireland. So let's start off with how you were introduced to the outdoors and fishing. How'd that come about?
Well, originally I grew up in the mountains of County Wicklow, in a small village called Rathdrum. And in the village we had a river running through it called the Avonmore, one of the most spectacular rivers we have in Ireland. For scenery and beauty, it's absolutely stunning. But the whole community was kind of based around the river, and fly fishing was huge in that community, you know. But my dad and all his brothers would have been big fly fishermen and big competition anglers back in the day when I was only a wee boy going around. And that was kind of where it would have started off, you know. Would have been seeing dad go to competitions, tournaments and things like that. Would have followed him a bit, and then he would have brought me fishing as a young lad and stuff like that. But in generally, the whole community spirit was around the river. So, you know, we were always fishing on the river or then walking the river or shooting the river or something. But the whole, you know, it's just life was around the river. Wow,
that sounds beautiful. I think I've heard of that river. That's a pretty famous river, right?
The Avonmore, yeah. So it runs for about 35 miles from the Wicklow Mountains and runs out. The most famous stretch of it would be the Meetings of the Waters, where Thomas Moore would have written a very famous poem about the Meetings of the Waters, where the Avon Beog meets the Avonmore to make the Avoca River.
Okay.
And that would be a world famous piece of water. People from all over the world would come to see that junction.
Gotcha. Very cool. Very cool. And so now you have a full service fly fishing guiding business and fly shop. How long have you been doing that?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So initially I would have had a company called Irish Fly Time, and that would have been based in Rathdrum in County Wicklow when I lived up in County Wicklow. But then as life happens to us all, you get dragged all over the place. And now I'm actually living in Kilkenny on the River Nore, probably, you know, an absolute phenomenal brown trout river. Maybe not quite as scenic as the Avonmore, but as regards trout stocks go, it's one of the best in Europe, wild trout. So I'm living down on the Avonmore, or living down on the River Nore. So Piscari Fly would be going about 6 years. And previous to that, then I would have had Irish Fly Tying for about 12 years.
Gotcha. So how'd you learn to fly tie? From the family?
The one we have at the moment is about 6 years old. Huh?
How'd you learn to fly tying? From your family? From your dad?
Yeah, no, my dad wasn't a fly tyer. My dad's idea of fly tying was super glue and zonker strips and super glue onto the back of the hook. And that was my dad's idea of fly tying. He was never a good fly tyer. It was just a natural progression. I was just really hungry, Rick, as a kid. I mean, I couldn't get enough of it. Like, live, eat and breathe. So over here, Gaelic football, hurling and all, that's the big community sports. Well, all my mates and friends and siblings were out hurling and playing football and doing all those things. I was away in my bedroom learning how to tie flies, reading books, just spending time in the river as a kid. So it was just a natural progression for me. There was a few local boys in the club that would have done a little bit of fly tying, and they would have kind of taken me under their wing at a very young age, about the age of sort of 9, 10. And I would have progressed. Then around 13, I really started into the fly tying.
Wow, very cool. Where'd you get your materials back then?
So we used to have an old company here called Mayo Flycraft, no longer on the go, real old. You had to write to them. They'd send you out. And isn't that long ago? I'm not that old, Rick.
Good. I didn't mean it was a long time ago, but I'm just curious as to how it...
So we would have had to write to Mayo Flycraft. Yeah. Mayo Flycraft would post you out a little catalogue, and then you filled out your order and wrote back to them with a check or a postal order, and they would post you out materials. So I can still remember getting my first order in from the door. I was so excited I couldn't wait. I could not wait. Up to the bedroom, wasn't seen for weeks afterwards. So that's back. Or we harvest them ourselves, Rick. So, you know, we were. My dad was a shooting man as well, and we got into a bit of hunting and stuff. So we would harvest our pheasant feathers, our hen pheasant feathers.
Gotcha.
You know, we would harvest our own rabbit, our own hare, snipe, duck, all that kind of stuff. So anywhere we could get materials, you know, you didn't pass them by. You didn't let a bird go to waste. You took the meat for eating, and you took the feathers for flies.
There you go. That makes sense. Yeah. So what inspired you to start the business?
Oh, it was just natural progression, really, Rick. After Irish Fly Tying shut down, I had a career change, and I went away from it for a good few years and went away from the competition scene. Then I kind of just got sucked back into it a bit, and just as a natural progression of competition angling and being an avid fly tyer, I love fly tying. I could possibly give up fly fishing tomorrow, but I could never give up fly tying. I absolutely addicted to it. And it just, by sourcing materials, it was a little simple thing that I was really struggling on getting high quality tungsten beads over here in Ireland. You're buying them from here and there. They were okay. They were coming in different sizes, different colors, different cuts, different weights. And it was really frustrating me as a competition angler, sort of on my second time around that. So I contacted some tungsten bead companies in China, and over a 6 month to a year period, we kind of came up with our own tungsten beads, and I had to buy them in such large bulk, it made sense just to start selling some on.
Oh, yeah.
And it just started from there, and it just built and built and built. I was always blogging, I was always YouTubing about my own, because it's how I'm, maybe someday I might write my memoirs. And so the blog was kind of like that, and YouTube, and it just
right.
From there, and just kept progressing, one opportunity after another opportunity, kept rolling in, and just kept building from there.
Very cool. And where's the name Piscari come from?
Good question. So when we had Irish Fly Tying, because we're over here in Europe, and the European market is kind of all one market. I often thought when I had Irish Fly Tying that the name wasn't really suitable for the European market, because Euro nymphing, which is the whole big phase for the last 15, 20 years, right?
Right.
And Ireland wouldn't be considered the most advanced in European nymphing or that whole kind of modern Euro fly fishing. So I always said if I was going to start a second company, I really spend a bit of time thinking about the name. So I came across the word Piscari, which is the Latin word for fish.
Oh,
no matter where I go in Europe.
Yeah,
no matter where I go in Europe, if I'm wearing a t-shirt Piscari, it says I'm a fisherman.
Right.
Because Piscari is Latin word for fish. So you go to Spain, they speak Latin. You go to France, they speak Latin. You go to Italy, they speak Latin. So Piscari is the most common word for fish all across Europe. So Piscari Fly just came and it just rolls off the tongue real nice. Looks good on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And, happy days.
I love it. Great idea. Yeah, that's very ingenious of you. Very cool. Yeah. So tell us about the guiding side. How many guys do you guide?
Yeah, so we do a lot of guiding here on the rivers. I guide for a company down in the Blackwater, down in Cork, on the Blackwater River, called Blackwater Trout and Salmon Fishery. So I do a bit of guiding down there. I also guide up on the Avonmore and County Wicklow, and I guide on the River Nore. It's busy. It can be as busy as I want to be, Rick.
Yeah.
Our season runs from March till September. That's our prime wild trout season here in Ireland. Mm-hmm. And it's busy. I do a lot of competition coaching as well as just normal guidance. So a lot of guys would come to me that want to get to the next level, or they're at a certain level and they just want to get to the podium. Or a guy comes to me that just he's doing a bit of fly fishing, but he just wants to get the real grasp with it. I'm a psychologist by trade as well, so I apply a lot of that psychology into competition fishing. I am very particular on details. Yeah. So a lot of guys come sort of really for that end of it. That would be, we're at a certain level. We want to get into the competition scene, or we're in the competition scene and we want to get to that next level. So I'll put them through their paces for a certain amount of time. So I'd have a lot of international teams come over as well. I'd have a lot of people come up from Europe and US that would want to get to a good level. And I've just got people that just want to go out and catch a fish. And that's fine with me too. It's all about enjoying your own experience. And if you want to just come and fish with me and catch a fish, that's no problem. If you want to come and me to put you through your paces, and we go through every detail, every single detail. Well, then that's, so we kind of tailor our guiding service and our coaching service to everybody's individual needs. I think it's important because everybody wants to get something different out of a day's fishing. So,
right, that's smart.
It all depends on what people want to do. But it's busy, it's great, yeah.
Is it busy year round?
Oh, yeah, it's
wow, good for you.
During March to September, you're taking what I can do. I'm not a one-man show, but I've got my cousin Mark with me. My wife does a good bit of work. It's a real family business. And, I take what I can.
Yeah.
I take what I can.
Yeah.
And, there's got to be a limit there sometimes.
Right,
so, the shop has got to be ran. I'm also a professional fly tyer. So I have to tie flies every single day to meet orders. All the flies we sell in Piscari Fly are all tied by my hands. I don't import any flies. So everything is tied by my hands. So people ring me, email me, all across the world, and they have specific patterns, or they have a specific idea, or they have a specific type of fish they want to catch, or they've seen some kind of fish behavior that they want to, try and figure out, and we'll tie the flies to help them out. And,
Very cool. Very cool.
So that takes a lot of time too.
Yeah, that takes a lot of time. I don't tie, but I worked for Umpqua, and we had the Mets business for a while. I worked there for about 2-3 years. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. And people, it's like you're like an artist, right? You guys take beautiful flies. It's amazing.
Yes, we're absolutely. And, people today's customers, I find that, even though it would be easier for me to go and get them pre-made and mass-produced, and it would take a lot of pressure off me. But I think the way we kind of run our business, we really want it personal. We want every single customer to have those few moments, to have hand Pacific type flies to exactly their design and stuff like that. So, it's good for business, it's good for repeat customers, and it's good for customer service. And it's
that makes sense. Place. Yeah. So tell us about the shop. You sell rods and reels and the whole shooting match in the shop?
We sell the whole shebang there, Rick. We have the whole shebang. If you need a fly fishing or fly tying, we got it. If we haven't got it, we get it. But we do have one motto. I've always kind of built the business again, and a personal thing, that if I'm not going to use it myself, there's a good chance I'm not going to stock it. We're very particular about what we stock in the shop. We do have a range from all over the world. We bring in stuff from the US there. We bring in stuff from all over the world, China, all over Europe. We source a particular material for a particular thing we want, we find the best material we can. So we tend to stick to that motto that, we're not just going to sell you rubbish. If you went into my shop and picked up any single product, I could stand there for half an hour and explain to you exactly why you need to buy that. And I wouldn't be blowing smoke up your hole. It's going to be honest and genuine information, because that's the material I'm going to use myself for that specific purpose too, But we've got a very well stocked fly shop. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, right.
And you do go to the shows in the U.S., right? Paul was telling me you guys go to some of the shows here in the U.S.
Yeah, so IFI, the Inland Fisheries Board, our national kind of state organization that look after all inland fisheries, they normally go over and do the shows over there in the U.S. and they bring sort of trade stalls like me with them, We wouldn't be selling trade, but we'd be over there kind of just, exposing our fishing here we have in Ireland, and, what we have to offer guys and girls, and promoting fly fishing in Ireland. So I've had a few opportunities to go over and do that. I've been to a few shows in the US over the years myself, just personally. I've spent a good bit of time in the US.
Okay. So
I work with a company called,
You fished over here too?
I have. I fished Tennessee quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So I actually work in partnership with a company called Syndicate.
Okay.
Syndicate Fly Rods. They're based in Tennessee.
Okay.
And I run their whole European operation from here.
Gotcha. Very cool.
I go over to the guys, Eric and Mark, two great guys. They're based in Tennessee. Well, actually, Mark has moved out to Wyoming now, but Eric is still based in Tennessee. So I would go over to them regularly enough, pre-COVID, of course.
Sure.
And I would have fished over in Tennessee quite a bit. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
Virginia over the years. I fished up in North America, kind of up around British Columbia and stuff as well a few times. And I've done a fair bit of traveling over the years.
Yeah, good for you. We have some pretty good fishing here where I live. It's getting a little more crowded these days, but you can always manage to find a trout somewhere. Are there any
That's good.
Yeah, it's good to get out. It's beautiful. Yeah. Are there any manufacturers in Ireland?
Not a lot, Rick. No, not a lot. We're a small little country here, you know.
I know.
And kind of textile industry and industry in manufacturing, something that's that small of a market. You're not going to create a great living out of it. You're certainly not going to pay wage to have people on the ground working in a factory shop. So our nearest manufacturers to here would be UK.
Okay.
And of course, as global scheme of things is now, it's all Asia and China. And right. So but we do buy a lot. We do manage to source an awful lot of raw materials and produce a lot of our own product here as well, all our own dubbins. We produce a lot of our own bits and pieces by just getting in the raw materials and doing it as best we can, because we want to achieve something that you can't buy specifically on the market. Well, then we got to buy the raw materials.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Raw materials and get them ourselves. But no, you don't have any manufacturers based in Ireland.
Interesting.
Just fly tires and things like that, but not major manufacturers, no.
Yeah. And your staff, your shop staff, where do you find guides and shop staff? Just folks that you know or young kids coming up? How does that work?
Yeah, so basically we like to keep it fairly good because we promote ourselves as highly educated and highly achieved, competition anglers and stuff like that. Most of the guys and girls that would come to us, they want a certain level of guiding. There would be a few local guys that would kind of sub in when I need them, but most of the time you're going to get me your mark. We start our calendar. Our calendar is already started for next spring, for next March, going right through to September. And, we'll be slotting people in there constantly as much as we can. But most people that come to Piscari Fly, they're going to want to fish with me or they're going to want to fish with Mark. So we tend to do as much as we can ourselves. But then if we get overcrowded and somebody just wanted to go and explore a piece of river more so than get that whole intense level of Piscari experience, well then, there is loads of other guides in the area that would be, fairly competent fly anglers, very competent fly anglers.
So they could take people out and put them on fish. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But most of the time, the people that come to us, they're looking to come with us. That's what we want. We don't want to just fire them off. We want to give them exactly what they want.
Personalized training. Yeah, that's really smart.
September, it'll be mint.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah. And how about your customers? Are they all local, or do you get some folks coming from the U.S.? A little of both.
We get some coming from the U.S.
Yeah.
Where we're based in Kilkenny. Kilkenny is such a beautiful city and a beautiful county. You know, you've got Kilkenny City itself is the oldest city in Ireland. You got Mount Juliet Estate nearby, which is only about 10 minutes from where our shop is. You get a lot of American tourists coming into Kilkenny, and we get a lot of requests, you know, for people that are coming in for one day and they might want to grab a half a day on the river, or they're coming in and staying overnight and want to grab a day. So we get them from all over the world.
Cool.
We have people from all over the world reaching out to us all the time, and we'll never see anybody stop.
That's great.
You know,
and
we'll always do our best to help people out.
Yeah. And do you rent gear?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We rent a bit of gear. Yeah, for the river. So we're based in the Midlands. We have no lakes near us. Our nearest lake would be an hour and 45 minutes away, which would be the big Western lakes. So if we're going across and we fish there quite. So if we're going over there, you know, the gear is a bit different, but we have all the gear to fish the lakes, and we've all the gear to fish the rivers. And yeah, people arrive over with no gear. And yeah, look,
that makes sense. Yeah. Are there
waders and boats and rods and reels lying around?
Right. Yeah. Are there do you fish the rivers from boats, or do you wade it mostly?
No, all wading, Rick.
All wading.
All wading.
Okay, got you.
All wading. Yeah, the rivers aren't that. Now they're big enough rivers. The River Nore, where I am, down in South Kilkenny, it's big enough. Like, it's a fine big river. You're going to get better fishing from the banks. You're going to get better access, better fishing wading up to the banks. We have good access car by vehicle to get us down near the river banks. And, you know, yeah, you're not going to need a boat. No, boat fishing over here in Ireland wouldn't be as popular as you guys in the US. If we're going boat fishing, we're on big Western locks. You know,
yeah, that's what we did. Yeah,
of water. There's drifting in them, those big winds. Yeah,
we were on a lock with one of the guys from Clifton Anglers up at Derry Lock. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice day out, isn't it?
Oh, it's great. Yeah. So, what's a typical day like for you during the busy season? I mean, you must be running and gunning all day, all week, all month, right?
You were telling me beforehand that you're an early riser, 5 a.m. I said I was the very same. Yeah. So look at it's a 5 a.m. start, maybe sometimes even before that.
Right.
I get up in the mornings. Now, there's one thing I do stick to. I get my hours fishing every morning. So I get up in the morning, I'm making coffee. You know, the kids are still asleep, the wife is still asleep, and I'm lucky enough to live right beside the River Nore.
Nice.
So 5 o'clock in the morning, get up, have a coffee, throw on the waders, grab the rod, go and get my hour before anything else happens.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's my breakfast.
Yeah.
Get my hour, because sometimes, you know, I do a lot of social media, I do a lot of writing articles and stuff like that as well. So most mornings I got to go and get a picture of a trout. Most mornings I want to go down and throw a couple of nymphs because I may be working on a couple of patterns for somebody. You know, so there's always an excuse for me to go fishing. So I go every morning. 5 a.m. say back up at the house at 6:30, whatever it may be. The kids get up at 7, got to spend a bit of time with the kids in the morning. And then most days, most people would arrive to our shop at sort of 9:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And we'd have a cup of coffee and I just have a bit of a chat with them there. Just, you know, we might previously make contact, but have a bit of a chat, see exactly what they want to get out of the day, talk to them about what we're going to do. So, you know, there's no surprises. They know exactly what's coming. And then we'll tackle up and get out of there and pick a piece of water that's going to suit the best. Head off, we're guiding either a half day, which is sort of from 9:30, 10 till around lunchtime, 1 o'clock. And then a full day would be from 9:30, 10 till about 5:30. Now, some people would request to go an evening session. That's fine. We'll do whatever's suited people. Once you're finished guiding, then back to the shop and you want to pick up a few bits or say their goodbyes or whatever. And then we sit down and tie flies till maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, that's a long day.
Every day of the year, Rick.
Wow, good for you. You're a hard worker. That's awesome.
So during the season, I'll be busy tying flies. So, you know, you're going to sit down then for the evening. Let's spend a bit of time with the kids again and get them off.
Yeah.
I got 2 young kids, 3 and 6. And it's always nice to spend a bit of time with them.
You got to get it while you can, right? You got to make hay while you can. So
absolutely,
that makes sense.
Yeah. As I say, at the end of the day, it's only fishing. It's only fishing.
Right, that's right.
As much as you want to go 20 hours straight, it still is only fishing.
That's right.
So once I get the kids off to bed, then it's up to the vice. And then I sit and get orders out, tie flies, design, develop, whatever I'm doing. Or I could be getting ready for competition myself. So I'll be, you know, getting my stuff ready and things like that. So yeah, during the season, it's a busy day. It's a busy days, yeah.
We're going to take a little break and give some love to our sponsor, Tourism Ireland. Ireland is so ready for you. Their mountains are waiting, their beaches are on standby, and their cities can't wait to see you again. It's time to book your Ireland trip. Visit Ireland.com and press the green button. Visit the sheer cliffs of Maher. Walk along the raw west coast of Connemara. Or, if more adventure is on your list, try blow-karting on the award-winning Tyrella Beach. Not enough adventure for you? There's always co-steering. Combining the skills of a climber, jumper, and swimmer, this activity is done in areas of the coast where the ocean meets the rocks. Go on. Redline your fun meter. Visit Ireland.com and press the green button. You'll be glad you did. That's Ireland.com and smash that green button today. And now, back to the show. So what's the off-season like, or the slower season?
Just as bad.
Well, probably because you're into a lot of
the wife
things,
was not
right?
here. She'd be saying he never stops. But so our off-season means it's fly tying season right now at the moment. So we're in the off-season now. So it's all flies, building up stocks for next year, designing, writing articles, YouTube, social media. We have stocked fisheries over here that run all year round. So there's a lot of winter leagues on those. So we'll enter some of those tournaments. You know, we are competition anglers. I'll be preparing for competitions for next year already. I'll use this off season to get my gear toned down, have a real good look at it, analyze all my systems and processes, and, you know, make any changes I want to make to my setup. Like, also, we run a live fly tying show every Saturday night. So every Saturday night I go on live Facebook for 2 hours, and I do a live fly tying show for anyone that wants to join in. And I sit there and I tie my flies. We do a themed night, so every night's a different theme. We run every Saturday, from the first Saturday to close season to the last Saturday before the season opens.
Wow, we'll put a link to that in the show notes. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's brilliant. We bring on special guests from all over the world. You know, let's say if I'm doing a nymph night, like this weekend, this Saturday night, I'm going to be doing a micro nymph night. Okay, so anything from 20 and under, size 20 and under. And, you know, we got some other guys from Ireland that are really highly skilled in light micro nymphing. And they've shot some videos for us during the summer. They've done the interviews for us. And we'll bring all that into the show, into the live show. It runs for about an hour and a half, 2 hours every Saturday night. It goes up on our YouTube channel then as well every Sunday morning. So you can go back over. And we've been that for the last 3 or 4 years. It's kind of something we just stumbled on COVID. And it's been fantastic. You know,
I bet. It's a great idea. Yeah.
While it's not a product pushing exercise, Rick, we just really created a great community. And, you know, brought a lot of people in there. And, you know, we don't shove product on our neck. But yeah, it still has knock-on sales, right? You got to make something out you're going to put into that.
Well, and that's how you really build the business, is building the community, right? If you build a community and show that you're good at what you do, then they'll show up, and they crave information and want
people trust you. People buy into the way your thought process is. And, you know, if you go back over my shows, I do not a lot of preaching, but I do a lot of talking passionately about the way fly fishing in kind of the world sense has gone over competition fishing, things like that, whatever it may be. You know, I'm trying to build that community around Piscari Fly, through Piscari Fly. And you don't make a massive amount of money through fishing businesses here in Ireland, but you can certainly survive. It takes a lot of work, but you can survive. And, you know, we try and be, you know, innovative. We try and reach out to our people that are following us, and give them as much content as we can and create that environment for them to feel comfortable to come on and share, but also to learn. We got so much knowledge. I travel, on an average year, I could travel 15 to 20 times a year competition fishing. You know, so I've gathered up a vast amount of knowledge over the years, and I love sharing it. I keep no secrets.
That's great. You know?
Yeah, that's great. I love sharing it. So through that platform. So the off season, it's busy. You know, we keep ourselves occupied. We don't sit back on our laurels. We keep pushing. We keep sharing and reaching out to people.
That's great. What other outdoor activities do you participate in? Sounds like you're just all fly fishing, all the time.
No, I do a bit of hunting as well. I love the outdoors. Do a lot of mountain walking. We got some beautiful countryside over here in Ireland. So during the winter season, we do a lot of pheasant hunting. So pheasant season starts now. Has started since the 1st November. That will run through till January. We get out and do a bit of hunting, not as much as I like to do, but we get a bit done. Got dogs and stuff like that, Springer Spaniels. I love Springer Spaniels.
Excellent.
And they're pretty active, so you've got to get out with them regularly.
That's right, they are.
Keep them guys going. So it's great with the kids, get out there weekends, Saturday, Sunday, and travel across the country, go down and walk the river, look at different rivers. Wintertime is a great time to explore new water. We got a lot of rivers over here. Like, it's mind-blowing how much river we got.
Yeah, we drove.
Untouched.
Yeah, we were there for a week, and every time we, got on a highway and turned a corner, there's more rivers. I was like,
I know, it's mental. Amazing. I think myself and a friend of mine a couple of years back, must be nearly 8 years ago now, we did a challenge. We had actually a friend of ours, his wife passed away to cancer, and they wanted to raise some money for the oncology department in County Cork. So myself and a friend of mine, your man asked, like, will we run a competition or something for him? I run a lot of competitions here in Ireland as well, and I thought, oh God, run another competition. Let's do something different, And we'd often talked about, I wonder how long would it take us to fish 100 rivers in Ireland and catch a 20 centimeter fish in each river before that river was allowed to qualify. Okay. So after about years of research, because we had to get permission to walk on all the land, walk on the rivers, from the clubs, blah. So it took us about a year. We reconned 160 rivers. And we had permission to fish 160 individual rivers. Okay, so we had our ordnance survey maps. So we've done it really as high tech as it goes. So it can never be questioned afterwards. Should the boys fish this river? That river was, they were the one river kind of. So we fished it in July, May. I think it was last week in May, first week in July. God, was it 2018 or something? And we set off and we fished 121 rivers in 6 days, 5 hours and 55 minutes.
Jeez.
Right? Now, that was an order. We fished 121 because 21 rivers didn't count. We might have ran down to the river. I might have got into the river and got a fish immediately. My partner might have got an 8-inch fish straight away. And maybe after half an hour, we'd have to call the river. No, it's not going to count. We haven't got time to hang around and try getting another fish because you're going to waste time.
You got to run. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, and every fish had to be above the qualifying size limit, which is 20 centimeters for FIPS Moosh, the world governing body. And basically, we had measures with us, and the measure on the chute, we had our 20 centimeters clearly marked, and we put the name of every river on the measure with a sticker, and then we photographed every single fish. So it was completely recorded. We got a book done now. We only got 2 books on ourselves, but it's an amazing piece of reading when you see those 100 different rivers.
I'll bet.
And here's the other thing, Rick.
Very cool.
We only did it in half of Ireland.
Well, yeah, right.
We only used half.
So
we used two provinces. We got 4 provinces in Ireland. We only had to use Munster and Leinster. We didn't have to go to the north, and we didn't have to go to the west.
That's impressive.
So
that's impressive.
We have a lot
of water.
of fishing over here in Ireland. Yeah.
A lot of water.
And man, we
That's
fished
awesome.
some amazing little rivers in that week. There's so many rivers I wanted to go back and fish afterwards. Rivers that were completely covered over. Nobody had fished in years. And the trout that was in them. You're talking about
God.
these trout before, massive trout would just swim away and you go, oh my God, yeah. So if you wanted rough and ready, we have rough and ready here in Ireland, and we have the nice, clean, pristine banks, manicured stuff as well. Yeah, we
Gentlemen's
got a great
fishing or
variety
rough and
of fish
ready. Take your choice.
Yeah, it depends what you want.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That was some experience down the rivers.
So, do you have any suggestions or advice for folks wanting to get into the fly fishing business?
Oh gosh, into the actual business. Look, I think set your stall out early. I think if you want to you got to try. It's like any business, Rick. You got to try to find your niche market. You know, you got to find where's their gap in the market, no matter what your market is. Look at your consumer base, your kind of customer base, target that customer base. You know, for us, it's nymphing, it's competition fishing, lock style. Now we've branched out into a lot over the years, but we really honed in on that competition end of things over here in Ireland, and it worked for us. You know, plus now obviously you have to have the experience if you're going to hone in on that side of things. You know, you got to be able to back up the talk. That's the thing. You got to be able to back up
for sure.
If you're talking to competition guys, because they want to see you compete and they want to hear that you're doing well. That obviously knocks on the business a little bit too. So, but you know, if you're going to get into fly fishing business, pick your niche area, start small, and build. You know, anybody can go out and spend $100,000 in gear and start selling tomorrow morning, set up an online shop and start selling. But that's not what a fly fishing business is about for me. Fly fishing business is you become the business and the business is you. You know, someone couldn't just come along and buy Piscari Fly because it'd be no good without me. You know, it's the whole thing is built. And I think if someone's going to get into the fly fishing business, you know, really sit back and think about what's your market, what's your target, what's your expertise, you know, what do you really want, and head down that road and be true to yourself. You know, don't get sidetracked by the commercialization. Unfortunately, one of the negative sides of fly fishing is the commercialization of fly fishing. You know, it bugs me a bit sometimes. So, you know, be true to yourself, be true to your morals and the direction you want your business to go in. And then you'll never have a problem with customers. You'll never have a problem because if you're that kind of person, well, then they're going to follow you. They're going to trust your recommendations. They're going to buy your product. You know, they're going to trust your brand. Well, it's like
you're doing. You're building a community, and people are coming there for the community, and they just buy the products because
exactly.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Absolutely,
I love it.
Yeah, and give everybody their few minutes, no matter how busy I am. If somebody rings me, I'll stop everything. I'll pick up the phone and I'll talk to them because I'm staying stuff. Give everybody their few minutes. You're never too busy for one customer. Every customer must count. You know, because today you might, like Mark might be in the shop and some guy might ring wants to talk about nymph fishing. He's having trouble maybe with a certain type of nymph or whatever. And I could spend an hour on the phone explaining to him, Mark, maybe sometime someone will be in the shop saying, I don't believe he spent an hour on that line every body and off yet. And I said, well, he won't today, but maybe tomorrow he will. You know, so you've got to give every and that little bit of time and that little bit of customer service, especially in fly fishing. And as you said, build that community around your business, and you'll never be stuck for customers then.
Yeah, that's great advice. So here's a tricky question I ask everybody: what's your favorite piece of gear under $100?
Oh, good one. Yeah, I thought long and hard about this during the week, you know, and I seen I think. Oh man, what the hell? I bought stuff for $5 That's been amazing. I've bought stuff for 50 quid. That's been amazing. Oh, what's my most favorite product I've ever bought? Well, it was kind of a toss of the coin. So there's one piece of product I use. I'm sure you have it over there now. Have you came across Mirko Skaffar's indicator wax?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Mirko Skaffar is a very good friend of mine. I fished with Mirko the whole time. And I remember I was over in Mirko's apartment and he handed me, I went over to Slovenia. I fish Slovenia quite regularly. And I went over anyway to Mirko. I go over to him and we just hang out. He comes to me a little bit too. And I went over to Mirko and we were sitting in the apartment. I just arrived and we're having a cup of coffee. And he threw me a little round cylinder with some yellow stuff in it. And I looked at him, what's that? And he says, today we'll test it. I said, all right, so great. Man, we'll go out. So out we went anyway. And he was kind of showing me, put it onto your leader to enhance the colour. It kind of semi-floats and blah. He's giving me the whole rundown. I said, well, this looks interesting. So I fished it for about half an hour. I reeled in the rod. I walked up to Mirko and I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, Mirko, how fast can you make that stuff and how much can you make? And I said, what are you going to charge for it? And I said, probably €5. I took out a $5 and I gave it to him. And I said, that's the best $5 I've ever spent. That's where Skaffar's wax came from. Mirko Skaffar, very good friend. Yeah, he's a genius. I tell you what, if anybody out there that's listening to this show ever want to go meet one of the world's greatest gurus in catching, grayling, and understanding fish behavior and river management, get to Slovenia and get to Mirko Skaffar. He is an absolute genius, Rick. An absolute genius. And he does everything so simple. It's just thought, oh man, it's so simple. Well, he's a really good guy. So that was one thing. And then the other thing, one of the other things that I bought that I would not fish without is my knee pads. A good set of knee and shin guards. They have saved my life so many times.
That's a good idea.
$50. Huh?
Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah,
I wear them, not just, and I tell you why I find them fantastic. So I do a lot of heavy wading and a lot of deep wading. I'd be fearful of no river. Competition, if there's a fish on the far side of that river, no matter what I have to do to go to and get them, I go get them. And I find in the knee pads, with the ones we use, the Impact Soft ones, they're Italian knee pads, and we do sell them in the shop. But they make me feel so strong in the water. They make me feel so sturdy. It's like wearing armor. Right. And I can run through rivers with no fear of falling and breaking. Those would be my two best. I couldn't split the difference between the two. What could I do without? Those would be my two best purchases ever under $100.
That's perfect. Well, we'll find those and link to those in the show notes too. Yeah. As we finish up, is there anything else you'd like to say to our listeners?
Oh, look, it's been a great opportunity to come on your show. I hope people, that listen to what we've just been talking about and want to join that community. It's no expense. It's no cost. Come on to our live shows. Check out our YouTube. Our Facebook, we're constantly on there. We're always open for anybody that's struggling out there in fly fishing or want to get to another level. Just gives a shout out, and we're always more than willing to help people out. It is about that community spirit, and it's kind of lost over the years. I find here in Ireland we used to have a great club, and when I was a kid growing up, there was a club in our hometown in Rathdrum, and everything was about the club. Rathdrum Trout Anglers, it was a fantastic club. They had social evenings, they had fly tying, they had junior competitions, and everyone was about the club. And unfortunately, with the way the world has evolved, and especially with COVID, that whole club scene is really deteriorating, and the community has become very broken. So trying to create that community and get people to come in and follow it and be part of that community and share. It's not just about listening to me, or that's about everybody sharing, So if anybody out there wants to, please do check out all our social media handles. Our website, we have a blog, we have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. We're on everything.
Wow, you're on TikTok even. Good for you.
We started on TikTok recently. So how couldn't you? 18 million potential customers, Rick.
I know. I have a TikTok account, but I haven't done anything on it yet. I don't know what to do.
I remember looking at TikTok over 2 years ago or a year ago, whenever it really started. Come on, I know there was only one or two fishing guys, and I thought maybe it's not going to go. But you go on to TikTok now and look how many fly anglers are on TikTok putting up short content. So if you're, again, in business, for anyone looking to start a business, you've got to be at it all. Like, there's a potential customer behind every social media, like every single post. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
you never know. Yeah,
you've got to be in. As my dad says, you've got to be in every dog fight.
That's it. Yeah. And where can people find you if they want to follow up? How can they find you? Email.
Okay, Twitter, so you can check us out. Piscari Fly, Piscarifly is the main handle for everything. So if you put in Piscari Fly on your Facebook or your Twitter or your Instagram or anything like that, it will bring you to us. Or just go straight onto our website, www.piscarifly.com. And that'll take you around. I say our live shows go every Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Irish GMT time. So, and then it goes onto our YouTube channel every Saturday, every Sunday morning. So the last 3 years of all our live shows are on there. And if you're up or you're going to bed late, whatever time zone you're in, if you want to come on and have a chat, it's live chat when we're doing the show as well. It's not just me. It's all live. It's all interactive. I'm sitting there time flies.
Awesome.
I'm talking to everybody that's online. Some of our shows we could have up to 10,000 people watching them.
Wow, that's impressive. We'll link to that in the show notes.
So over space of a week, we get great followership, and it's all live. You can come on and ask questions there. And if I don't have time because I'm too busy tying flies or pressing buttons, if I miss your question in the feed, well then someone else that's actually on the feed. And that's the great thing about it. They'll come on and they'll shoot you a message and they'll answer your question and all this sort of stuff. So
it's a community thing again, right?
And it's very off the cuff. There's nothing pre-recorded.
Not
it's live,
script, huh?
And it's good fun. Yeah, we make it as fun as we can. We have a bit of banter, a bit of Irish slagging and stuff like that. Yeah. So it can be a bit of fun. Anyone that wants to find us, basically, if you put in Piscari Fly or piscarifly.com, you'll come across us and reach out and say hi. We're always looking forward to having a chat with people from your side of the pond.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Peter. It's been great talking to you. I look forward to fishing with you someday.
Great, Rick. Thanks a million, and thanks to all your listeners.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Outdoor Biz Podcast. Be sure to visit our website, theoutdoorbizpodcast.com, where you'll find show notes with links to everything we talked about and more. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or spread the word and tell a friend about the show. That would really help us out too. Be sure to tune in every week. And thanks again for listening to the Outdoor Biz Podcast with Rick Sayes.